Hello! Today is a new episode of our project Short Talks with Kitab, where we speak with talented and interesting representatives of Turkic people living in the Czech Republic. And today we were invited to the representative of Turkmen nation, Ms. Oguljamal Yazlieva, and she will tell us something more today about Turkmenistan, her roots. So, hello, Oguljamal.
Hello, nice to see you.
Thank you very much for invitation. Can you tell us something more about how long you live here? Why did you choose to come to the Czech Republic? And what about your impressions about the Czech Republic?
I came to Czech Republic around 17 years ago. I left Turkmenistan in 2002 for the one-year program in the United States of America, and I came to Prague after 1 year of staying in the States. It was a professional development program within the Humphrey Fellowship. I feel like at home in Prague. I spent around 10 years working for the media company here in Prague, and then I went back to the United States. Now I do research on area study. I study Central Asia, share my knowledge with my counterparts here in Czech Republic about the culture, about the history of the Central Asian nations, in particular Turkmen culture, Turkmen history, and in our department where I do my research at Charles University, the Department of Russian and East European Studies. It's very interesting to notice that some rooms are called after the name of the places. And one of the rooms is called Ashgabat, the capital city of Turkmenistan, and it's very nice to enter the room and you feel like home.
Do you work in Ashgabat room?
I belong to Ashgabat room because my supervisor sits there. His office is in Ashgabat room, and there are very smart and knowledgeable experts in our region, and I'm so happy to meet them and to be part of their community. It's very interesting to work with the people. I was kindly surprised when I learned about the fact that in Prague one of the streets is called Turkmenskaya. In Prague 10 there is a street named after Turkmenistan. I was very happy to know about that. And also I know that there are some TV reports about Turkmenistan when something happens in Turkmenistan, great events, political or some kind of cultural events. You can come across with the reports on Czech TV. Also, there are students, not only Czech students, but international students, eager to learn more about our region, our history, culture.
How did the Czech people react that when you said that you're from Turkmenistan?
Some people, they don't know, they ask where is it, and you have to explain the geography. You name Iran, you name the Caspian Sea, the borders of Turkmenistan. You should name Kazakhstan, because Kazakhstan, one of the republics in Central Asia, which is more or less known by the international students or ordinary people here in Czech Republic.
And so you're studying the region Central Asia, or you're researching this. How do you find this, let's say, approach from the Charles University? Is it different approach from your background? Did you read many articles from the side of Turkmenistan, or in Russian or in English language? How different is this approach to the Central Asia?
It's a very smart question because it's totally different approach. I spent 20 years working for the Turkmen State University before coming to the States and to the Czech Republic. During my time, it was mostly the Soviet time. I defended my first PhD in philology and contrastive linguistics in Central Asia. It was different in terms of there was different ideology. Marxist-Leninist ideology should be in your research. It is requirement. And if, for example, you do research in some kind of culture or literature or language, the requirement was that you have to connect your research arguments, research concepts with the ideology that was under the Communist Party system. But here it is different. It is Western style. So there are some concepts that I never thought that you can use them to explain, for example, social activity of the Turkmen society, the differences of their activities with their neighbors. For example, if you compare Kyrgyz society and Turkmen society, despite the fact that they have common background, they came from the same region, similar culture, but their approaches to the developments nowadays in contemporary time, the differences, total differences in their social activity. And in order to understand why it is different, you can use some concepts. For example, concept of political culture. I have links, contacts, very close contacts, not only here in Czech Republic, but within the European Union. We have, let's say, clan of scholars with love in Central Asian area, Central Asian studies scholars. And I was surprised when during one of the conferences, the message was that we all love Central Asia. That's why we study Central Asia. The scholars of Central Asian studies, they are in love with the region, in love with the people, and they respect the people of the region.
So the research starts with the love.
Yes.
What is important to know about Turkmenistan? Or what are the qualities of Turkmen culture or Turkmen people or Turkmen tradition are so outstanding out of the whole Central Asian states?
So, of course, there are some unique things in learning Turkmenistan. For example, if you look at the carpets made in Turkmenistan, you can read it. You can read which tribe is made by the carpet. So we have unique carpet design that tells you about the Turkmen people. There is no other Turkmen carpet style in other places. So it is the one of the uniqueness of the Turkmen people in the region and in the world. Also, we have some. It is not only Turkmen lifestyle, but the regional. For example, respect for senior people. It's very, very strongly preserved in the regional culture. Also, Turkmenistan is geopolitically very important country. It borders with Iran, and this region is also very important. If you look at the history, it was one of the major roads of Silk Road, which connected Asia with Europe, with European people. Cultural aspect is very important. Exchange of culture between nations is very helpful to expand the knowledge about the people, about their history, about their developments. I came from the family where my father was a film producer, my uncle was a famous actor who played tons of roles in different movies, not only Turkmen but Uzbek, Tajik. His name is Baba Ananov. My father's name is Avlakuli Guliyev, who was famous for its film about the first president of the Turkmen state, which was formed in 20s last century during the Soviet time. There was a very strong leader, Turkmen people, Gaygıtlı Atabayev. My father produced a film about this very strong man. People can learn a lot about the historical events, for example, about the development of the Bolshevism in the country in 20s, 30s, and also very different film about a love story of a Turkmen musician. The film is called Keçbelek. My father produced this film in 70s, and one of the main character in the film, the Bakhshi, the musician, is produced by my uncle Baba Ananov. This movie tells the story about the role of music in the life of the Turkmen people. Very sad story, love story between a Turkmen girl and a musician. Listen to the music of that film that was composed by a very famous composer, Turkmen composer, Nuri Khalmamedov.
Nuri Khalmamedov.
Nuri Khalmamedov. Keçbelek music is very famous. And why I'm talking about this, these are some examples that are very close to me. And if you watch such films, you can learn a lot about the culture, about the history of the Turkmen people. Yeah, uploaded on YouTube, and
really?
But I'm not sure that some of the English titles, but they are mainly in Russian or in Turkmen. The famous film Shukurbashi, it is also very, very good example of the role of music in the life of the Turkmen people. Shukurbashi. This film is on YouTube with English titles.
Okay.
And the main idea of the film is when in the history there were a lot of struggles, fights between the tribes, between the people of the region, fights between Iranian and Persian people and Turkmen people. And this film tells about the role of music. One of the residents of the village takes his musical instrument to the war. And when he was asked, why are you going with musical instrument instead of the weapon, he promises that I will fight with my music. And he, using his music, he frees his brother who was captured during the fight by the Persian people. And there is a competition organized between the Persian musician and Turkmen musician. And the leader of the tribe, of the nation, declares that if Turkmen Bakhshi wins, his brother will be released, and he released his brother using his music. So it's very symbolic, that tells the peaceful character of the Turkmen people. They don't want wars. They try to solve their problems with love, with music, with peace. So that's why I recommend this movie.
How you feel yourself here, and as a Turkmen person living in the Czech Republic, how do you feel? How do you find yourself here?
At the very beginning, it was not easy because I was feeling that the Czech people are reserved. Czech people should learn more about their counterparts in order to interact with them. And when you talk to them, you open yourself, it is easy to continue the communication with the Czech people. It's normal. In our culture, we are more open, very hospitable. It is a custom when somebody comes to your home, you offer tea, even you don't know the person. If he comes to your home, you offer the place in the best part of your room. And also, if you talk about the Turkmen people, we have a custom to offer some dish when you prepare something delicious or something traditional. You offer a dish to your neighbor, and it's a custom. And once a year there is a celebration of inviting your neighbors to share your meal together. But here I don't see such kind of. You can go out, but this is a kind of small difference between our nations.
What is for you Czech person or Czech culture? Can you describe it, or do you have some characteristic for this?
I love the Czech culture. It's very rich, and it has very rich history. And I am happy to walk in the streets that reminds you the medieval time in the center of Prague. Very beautiful buildings reminding you the history of the people, and also they are very educated. They love reading. When I use metro, you see a lot of people with the books reading. It's very nice. And also I know that the Czech Republic is famous for its libraries. A lot of libraries, and have very deep history, each library, for example, here in Prague. When you raise the issue, who are Czechs, the commonly known is they are consumers of beer, but it's not true. We have very rich culture. They are very friendly when you know each other. It's nice to know when you speak Czech, they notice it, and they are very open to help you to explain something.
Once we were talking with you, and you mentioned that Czech people are politically active, that they're very active.
Yeah. I noticed that they are united. They are very socially active. I learned in some of my readings that in Czech Republic you are not real Czech if you are not a part of the social activity or political activity. And it's very good to see the active students that promote their knowledges, their experiences in solving some social problems in their communities. It's very good, and good to learn about such kind of behavior for the Turkmen people as well.
So you think Turkmen students can learn from Czech students as well?
A lot, because unfortunately students are different in Turkmenistan. I don't want to raise the political issue here, because we are now talking more about the cultural heritage of our nations. It's different, yeah. Students, Turkmen students can learn a lot from the Czech students.
What you will recommend to the Turkmen, or maybe not just Turkmen students, to know about Czech culture?
First of all, if you want to travel to Czech Republic for study or for work, you should learn the language. And it's very easy for the Turkmen people, because they have Russian background as well, and it's very similar languages, Russian and Czech, and that's why it's not that hard to learn the Czech Republic. Especially you have great support from the Czech people. If you would like to learn their language, they are very open, they are very helpful. There are a lot of opportunities to learn the culture, the language, attending museums. I am very happy that I live in the center of the open museum. You can walk through the streets and see the exhibitions about the history of the country or the people. It's very frequently organized in the cities here in Czech Republic.
Okay, so I would like to ask you maybe a couple of last questions. Happened to you some funny or interesting story to you here in the Czech Republic?
I call Charles Bridge a miracle for myself because it's I already have twice when I was thinking about somebody from my country, I come across with the people whom I thought. The first time, at the early time of my stay here in Prague, I met one of my colleagues' daughter when I was walking on Charles Bridge.
Accidentally.
Accidentally, yes. And we were walking with my elder daughter, and we were talking about them because they knew each other, and we knew that she was studying here in Prague. And we were talking about her, and accidentally we come across with them. And the second time, it has happened recently. I met on Charles Bridge two of my relatives. I didn't know that they were traveling here, and they stayed one day in Prague, and accidentally I met them on Charles Bridge, and it was so pleasant. When you think about them, and here it's a kind of miracle, this bridge.
So in the Charles Bridge you can meet some Turkmen people.
My advice is, if you miss your loved ones, you can go to Charles Bridge and pray for meeting them. It may happen.
I see we see the picture on the wall. It's a Turkmen girl. Can you tell us something about it?
This picture is called Marusha Hojahan, which is the old name of one of the major regions in Turkmenistan. And the author of this picture is a woman, Suray Miredova. I love her works. I love. And this one was brought from Ashgabat. I asked to find one of the paintings of Suray Miredova and bring it to me, and I'm happy to have this picture. It's traditional Turkmen life image. You can read a lot of stuff here. The face of the Turkmen woman describes the independent character of the Turkmen woman. They are peace-loving, they are freedom-loving image you can see here. Very proud of themselves, and a tradition that every mother teach their girls to make embroideries. And here you can see pieces of some embroidery, some jewelry, handmade jewelry of the Turkmen culture.
Do you also do it?
I do. Every mother tries to teach their daughters to make embroideries, to make carpets, and to play gopuz. It's a traditional musical instrument in our culture. It is usually women's instrument, but men also play this gopuz. It's not pure Turkmen instrument, but regional. In our region, in Central Asia, have this instrument and they play. If you would like, I can show you.
Yes, please.
I'm not a good player, but something I can play.
Okay. Thank you very much for
It's
conversation.
my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.